There are just 3 more games on the docket for the Michigan women's basketball team before the postseason, and yet so much is still undecided. But tonight's tilt with number 16 Ohio State will go a long way towards settling all that's unsettled. Hello and welcome to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan women's basketball Monday night edition here inside the Crisler Center. Alongside my trusty broadcasting partner, Adam Bressler, I'm Jared Greenspan, here to deliver you our presentation of Michigan and Ohio State. And as I alluded to just a few moments ago, the implications tonight are drastic. Michigan sits at 5th place in the Big Ten with 3 games to go at 10-5. Ohio State, just 2 more games to go, sits in 4th place, a half game up. And Adam, that race for the coveted double bye in the Big Ten tournament is on.
Yeah, for those following along at home, the stakes are intense. Just like the men's tournament, top 4 teams in the women's bracket will get 2 byes in Minneapolis next week. Then we got the next 4 will get a single bye, and the final 4 will have to play in all 5 rounds if they want to take that Big Ten crown. Michigan right on the cusp of that double bye, 5th seed in the conference, playing the number 4 seed, who's been on a large skid the past couple of games. They started out this season as one of the best teams in the nation. They were peak of 2nd ranked, beginning 19-0, and then they just floundered since then, just on a downward spiral. Coming in on the road against a pretty hot Wolverines team, have 1 loss of their own coming into this game we'll talk about in a moment. But it's definitely in Michigan's favor this afternoon.
Yeah, the Buckeyes did not lose until January 23rd. They've since dropped 5 of their past 8 games, and both teams limping a little bit into this crucial matchup tonight. The Buckeyes will be without, or at least not starting, is J.C. Sheldon, one of their best players who's missed a number of their most recent games. And for Michigan, again, no Layla Filia, the promising sophomore guard, sidelined with a leg injury. But nonetheless, both teams know the importance of this one. It's set to be a fierce matchup inside Crisler Center. The 2 teams have met once before, back on New Year's Eve day, when then number 14 Michigan dropped a tough one in Columbus, 66-57.
And we'll talk about it more, but not only the Big Ten seeding, we're keeping our eyes on the national rankings too. We got the 12th ranked Wolverines versus the 16th ranked Buckeyes. Top 16 teams get to host 2 games at home in the Women's March Madness tournament. Both of these teams are essentially locked to make the big dance, but it's huge to host, get the student atmosphere. Win today would be huge for either program. So with that, we're going to take you to the national anthem. Thank you for tuning in to WCBN Sports as we prepare to have coverage of the women's basketball matchup very shortly.
Fans, turn your attention to the award for a special recognition. Of Leah Brown. Earlier this season, Brown scored her 1,000th career point at Minnesota. Brown reached 1,000 points in just 63 games, making her the 4th fastest Wolverine to reach the mark. Head coach Kim Barnes of Leah represent Leah with the game ball to commemorate her accomplishments. Fans, let's hear it for Leah Brown. At this time, we'd like to join the Michigan women's basketball team as they stand to demonstrate their fight for unity and inclusion with a play of Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of
At this time, we ask that you join us in a moment of silence in recognition of last week's horrific tragedy at Michigan State University. On behalf of the University of Michigan, we share our condolences for the lives lost, those critically injured, and everyone impacted in the Spartan community. Thank you. At this time, please remain standing and remove your caps. Active duty and veterans may keep their hats on or rendering the military salute. And join us in honoring America, those who protected with a playing of our national anthem. The colors are presented to you by the Navy ROTC, and the anthem will be performed this evening by the Michigan Band.
And welcome back to WCBN Sports presentation of Michigan women's basketball. The Wolverines just moments away from a seismic clash against number 16 Ohio State. The top 16 clash in the Big Ten this year. So many great teams in the Big Ten Conference. Indiana, Maryland, Iowa, probably in that top tier. And then these two teams right below them, jostling for position in the Big Ten tournament, which we've discussed, but also the NCAA tournament. Remember, those top 16 teams, so the top 4 seeds in each region, are able to host the opening weekend of the tournament, which Michigan was fortunate enough to do last year, and they're right on that cusp again this season.
Yeah, it was the first time in school history Michigan has had that privilege to welcome fans into March Madness at Crisler Center, and they're hoping to do it again. They saw the impact not only in rejuvenating the crowd and getting fans excited about the team, but also on the court, just having that presence in a way that you wouldn't be able to do if you had to travel to Lexington, Kentucky, or Iowa, or some other college basketball town.
Tremendous atmosphere in those games, and as we speak of atmosphere, a rousing ovation pregame for Leah Brown, who was recognized for scoring her 1,000th point, which she did a couple weeks ago, and she did so in just 63 college games. An impressive feat for Brown, who will look to lead the Wolverines tonight against Ohio State. We'll run you through the starting lineups real quickly ahead of player introductions here inside the Crisler Center. Maddie Nolan and Jordan Hobbs in the backcourt. Hobbs has been holding down that 2-guard spot ever since Layla Filia went down with a leg injury. The aforementioned Brown starts at the 3, rounding out the trio of wing players. Emily Kaiser continues her strong season, averaging 16 points a game at the 4. And then Cameron Williams, the young sophomore, at the 5. Meanwhile, flipping things over for Ohio State, a Buckeye team plagued by injuries with Madison Green and J.C. Sheldon both sidelined. It'll be Riki Harris drawing the start at the 1 with Taylor Theory at the 2. Taylor Mikesell's at the 3. She averages 17 points a game. Ebony Walker, seldom played, draws the start at the 4. And then Coty McMahon, the freshman, coming off one of her best games at the 5.
We mentioned it in the pregame, but it's been completely Layla Brown this season. Not the hugest expectations coming into this season, and she completely exceeded all of them. One of the best players not only on the team, but in the Big Ten Conference. If it weren't for Caitlin Clark, she would be one of the contenders for Big Ten Player of the Year.
And as a welcome, I guess. Welcome to all of our listeners tuning in over the FM airwaves. This is WCBN 88.3 FM Ann Arbor. You're listening to WCBN Sports' presentation of Michigan women's basketball. Alongside Adam Bressler, I'm Jared Greenspan. We should have a great one in store for you tonight here at the Crisler Center. Alex Miller and Kelin Flynn will be on the call for the second half.
Now we're very proud to bring you this women's basketball game over the FM airwaves. Only our second women's basketball broadcast this season over the FM airwaves. We're excited to do that for the Ann Arbor community.
Well, Michigan and Ohio State each breaking their huddles just now. The Wolverines rocking the all maize tops, maize bottoms, with blue lettering and numbering. Ohio State countering with the all reds. Red tops, red bottoms, white lettering, and white numbering with a gray stripe down the sides. A really aesthetically pleasing uniform matchup tonight between these two longtime rivals.
Yeah, and we see them clash in all the sports. We saw them clash in men's basketball several weeks back, just this past weekend in ice hockey, playing both in Columbus and in Cleveland for the first time ever. Ohio State took the better end of both of those games. But it's women's basketball time, and Michigan Wolverines have a chance to avenge a tough loss on New Year's Eve.
6-foot Taylor Theory is in the center circle with 6'3" Cameron Williams. Those two will jump things off tonight. Michigan and Ohio State. A battle in the Big Ten on a Monday night here in Ann Arbor. And Ohio State wins the tip. It's corralled by Walker into the arms of Harris, who takes it right to left. Harris on the right wing. She's met by Maddie Nolan. The 2 point guards going up against one another as Harris snakes left. Dribble handoff with Mikesell working with Brown, moves right. Blitzed by Williams, drops it up top for Walker. Walker with Nolan and 10 to shoot. Skip pass into the corner. Launching a three is McMahon. It's no good and cleared by Nolan. First possession of the game for the Wolverines. Kaiser to Brown on the left wing, working with Theory. Flips to the point for Kaiser, one-on-one with Walker. Kaiser rumbles right, picks up her dribble, finds Hobbs in the corner, wraps around a screen. Hobbs takes Harris off the bounce, kick out left wing Brown. Brown downhill, floats it out right wing for Hobbs with 8 to shoot. Hobbs into the lane, floater won't go, left it short. And the rebound is corralled by McMahon for Ohio State, who whistles a baseball pass up ahead looking for Theory, trying to save it, but it goes right to Nolan, and now Michigan has a 5-on-4. Hobbs up the left side, and now we'll wait for full strength. Leah Brown catches in the corner. 1 minute gone by, still scoreless here on this Monday night. Leah Brown to the high post, drops it into the post for Kaiser. Facing the basket with Walker, lowers her shoulder. Now kick out left wing Brown, launches a deep three, splash! Leah Brown opens the scoring with a deep three-pointer, and Michigan's up 3-0.
It's kind of unusual to see this Wolverine offense take so long.
And Maddie Nolan with the steal. She jets the other way and lays it in, evading Harris at the rim. A burst of offense for Michigan. It's 5-0, 95 seconds in.
So it took a while, but once they sparked, they ignited.
Harris curls and kicks. Theory in the left corner. Drives, now floats it back out to Harris beyond the arc with the shot clock halfway through. Theory with Kaiser, attacks off the bounce, spinning to the block. She's doubled by Williams, left it short, and Kaiser the board as Theory hits the deck. Brown left to right down the near side. Slows things down, now lobs underneath, looking for Hobbs. Williams came there as well. They were both in the area. It caroms off Williams and out of bounds. So a blown opportunity for Michigan. Still 5-0 Wolverines, 2 minutes gone by.
Quick game so far. Until then, no breaks in play, no fouls, no nothing.
A frenetic pace in the early going between two of the top teams in the Big Ten Conference. Theory fakes the handoff in the right corner, now gives way for Harris. Swinging around the arc on the left side for Mikesell. Blitzed on the perimeter, drops it underneath for Ebony Walker. Her foul line jumper is pure. And she gets the Buckeyes on the board. 2.5 minutes in, it's 5-2. Ohio State deploying a full court press. Kaiser in the backcourt, gets it away to Hobbs. And Hobbs works her way across the timeline down the near side, finds Nolan in the corner. Up top, Kaiser. She'll try her luck from deep. How about that? Emily Kaiser from downtown.
We've seen what this team could do when they ignite and they heat up on offense. Think back to that huge win on the road against UNC. They scored 32 points in the first quarter alone.
8-2 Michigan. Ohio State trying to keep pace. 10 to shoot for Walker at the high post. Back to the basket. Walker turns the corner, gets inside across the lane. She missed the layup, and Kaiser rips home the rebound. Into the arms of Leah Brown, who receives the outlet pass and jets the other way. Down the alley to the cup. She lays it in. Leah Brown, coast to coast. Timeout, Ohio State. It's 10-2 Michigan.
That timeout long overdue for the Buckeyes. Kind of surprised it took them this long to even call it. 6:41 remaining.
We're thinking the same thing. 6:41 left in the first. It's been all Wolverines. 10-2 Michigan. The Wolverines missed their first field goal try, have since connected on their last 4. It took 90 seconds for them to crack the scoreboard, but the floodgates have opened early in Ann Arbor.
Ohio State just had no choice but to stop the bleeding. They saw how this game was going so far, and they knew how to make some adjustments. I was kind of surprised by them deploying the full court press so early in the game. I think back to Michigan State, both at home and in East Lansing. When they played the Wolverines, they had great success early in the game deploying a full court press. In both of those contests, the Spartans, they played man-to-man basically from the opening jump, and it allowed them to maintain a lead. And Michigan ultimately was able to break through late in both of those matches. But it was very successful, and I'm not surprised to see that other Big Ten teams are treating that as a blueprint. And I'm curious if that continues well into the tournament. Michigan, they ultimately was able to break through that full court press just by turning on the offensive jets, and it barely took 3 minutes for Michigan to do that this evening.
And Leah Brown has been the engine that makes Michigan's offense go all season long, and she's come to play so far tonight. Brown entered this game averaging 17.5 points per game. That leads all scorers, just barely edging out Taylor Mikesell for Ohio State, who averages 17.4 points per game. So the two seniors are going to be key tonight on opposite sides. Mikesell so far hasn't attempted a shot. Brown's got 5 points, including a beautiful transition bucket and a long three-pointer. And that's why the Wolverines are running all over the Buckeyes early, 10-2 the score. 6:41 to play in the first. We're at a timeout after Brown's bucket forced Ohio State to burn a timeout early in this one. Let's take a look at the rest of the Wolverines schedule the rest of the way. They're back here at the Crisler Center Thursday evening against Rutgers. A little double dip against the Scarlet Knights because the women's teams play at 7 o'clock that night in Ann Arbor, and then at 8:30 the men's teams play in Piscataway. And then Michigan will conclude its regular season with a tilt in Madison Sunday afternoon, and then after that the Big Ten tournament, where Michigan is hoping to play on Friday instead of starting their tournament push on Thursday. And as we've said multiple times, tonight will go a long way towards deciding that seeding position.
Yeah, this Big Ten tournament is in Minneapolis for the first time. Next year, the men's tournament will join them, playing in
I could
the
sound
Target
off
Center.
on that,
Yeah.
but
it does not help the budget of student media. Let's just leave it at that.
we'll save it for a DSR conversation. 10-2 Michigan up out of the timeout. McMahon on the left wing for the Buckeyes. Rifles on the left side for Mikesell, working one-on-one with Nolan. Wraps around a Walker screen. Pocket feed for Walker. Across the lane and the kick. Harris, right wing three. Bullseye. Beautiful offense for Ohio State out of the timeout. Just what the doctor ordered. And it's 10-5. More full court press here for the Buckeyes. Nolan looking to break it. She takes it across the timeline. Then the pass deflected by Theory. Nolan retrieves in the backcourt. Kaiser catches on the left side, finds Williams underneath. Left-handed hook, she drops it in. Nice crisp ball movement by the Wolverines, and it's 12-5. 6 minutes left in the first.
5 straight field goals for the Wolverines.
Theory at the point with Kaiser. She angles left and gives way for McMahon. Floats a cross-court pass for Mikesell, right corner three. Basket's good, and a foul. Harris was bowled over setting a screen by Leah Brown, and the referee signaled to count the basket, and it'll be a chance for a 4-point play. Where the Buckeyes look confused now.
I don't know if it's going to be on the shot. They're lining up on the sideline.
They'll count the bucket and give Ohio State the possession with a 20-second shot clock. Walker swings left side for McMahon. Ohio State suddenly down just 4. Walker hands off McMahon down the right alley, spins into traffic, throws up a wild shot. It's caught by Theory, who is then fouled by Kaiser. And the crowd here growing a little restless at the whistle inside Crisler Center.
So this is extending this possession even further. Has the potential to be a 6 or even 7-point possession with the inbound pass.
Mikesell on the left side with Nolan around a Walker screen. Williams pressures her on the perimeter. Swing it into the corner. Theory for 3. Boom. Back-to-back triples, and it turns into a 6-point possession for Ohio State. You don't see those too often.
Almost never, and they're down just 1.
Brown having trouble in the backcourt, and that's going to be a 10-second violation. So Ohio State called the timeout down 10-2, and they've come out of the timeout in just a minute and a half and made this a 1-point game. It's 12-11.
Not just that, they will get the ball back now after the violation. Chance to take the lead.
So Michigan in a bit of a role reversal, struggling here. Up by 1, 5 to play in the first. McMahon down the right alley, snakes on Williams, gets to the block, throws it up. It's an air ball, and Kaiser gobbles it up. Kaiser takes it the other way. Outlet pass rifled up the left side to Hobbs, and Michigan's able to break the press and settle into its offense. Brown at the top of the key, still working with Theory. Dribbling with the right hand, and she passes along the right side for Nolan, who gives right back to Leah Brown. Right side feed to Hobbs. Entry feed for Kaiser in the post at the block. Goes to her right shoulder and lays it up and in.
Huge for the Wolverines, keeping their streak alive. 6 straight field goals made.
Mikesell off the curl, straightaway 3, up and in. Bombs away for Ohio State. Buckeyes now have hit 4 of 5 from beyond the arc, and we're all tied up at 14 apiece. Michigan looking to break the press into the arms of Nolan into the front court. And the Wolverines do indeed break the press. Wanted to foul on Theory, but they did not get it. Leah Brown has it on the left wing with 12 to shoot. She'll call her own number, and it's off the mark on a 3, and then a whistle on a foul on the floor goes on Ebony Walker, who was fighting for the offensive rebound with Cameron Williams.
And that'll be the first foul committed by the Buckeyes this game. Relatively clean quarter for both teams, 2 for Michigan, 1 for Ohio State, and both of those fouls came in the same possession.
I think the crowd here was going to explode if Ohio State didn't get called for a foul soon. The inbounds pass knocked away and stolen by Walker. It's a foot race the other way. Walker to the cup with the left hand. She lays it in, and the Buckeyes take their first lead of the game. 16-14, 3:41 to play in the first. Kaiser looking to break the press, and she's fouled in the backcourt by Theory. So that press giving Michigan all sorts of issues. The Wolverines have committed 3 turnovers less than 6 minutes in.
And you got to give props to Ohio State calling that timeout. Kevin McGruff just knew that his team was struggling and not only stopped the bleeding, but completely turned around the momentum and now has a 2-point lead.
Greta Kempschrader into the game. She handles up top and flips on the left wing for Elise Stuck. 2 reserves off the bench for Michigan. Now Brown swivels around a Kaiser screen. Lob for Kaiser, comes down with it, goes up and is blocked and fouled by McMahon. Nice offense by the Wolverines.
Sending Wolverines to the line for the first time this evening. For either team, in fact.
It'll be Kaiser, an 81% free throw shooter, with 2 upcoming. In and out on the first for Kaiser. 16-14, Buckeyes in front with 3:24 to play in the first. It was 10-2 Wolverines at one point. And Kaiser gets the roll on that one. 16-15, Ohio State on top. Mikesell right to left down the far side, played by Kempschrader. Given the right wing for Harris with Brown. Harris lobs for Walker, facing the basket, rises for an 18-footer. It pops out, and Michigan clears. Camp Schrader, left to right down the middle. Angles left, looking for Brown, gets it to her on the wing. Cross court into the corner. Hobbs off the bounce behind her back. Theory sticks with her. Give out on the wing for Kaiser. 12 to shoot for Michigan. Kaiser, hands off. Camp Schrader. Around the Kaiser screen, 3-pointers on the way. It's off the mark, and Stuck tracks down the right corner rebound. Fresh possession for Michigan.
Huge for the Wolverines, given a second chance.
Brown comes down with it inside and lays it in. Great find by Jordan Hobbs, and Michigan seesaws back in front. 17-16, 2.5 to play in the first. Harris on the right wing finds Walker in the corner. Not a threat from beyond the arc, searching for a teammate. Finds Harris on the right wing. Shot clock halfway through. Harris waits for the Walker screen, moves right, finds Walker at the elbow. The jumper, pure. Nice stroke from Ebony Walker, and Ohio State back in front.
I have a feeling this game is going to be like this all night.
And Michigan turns it over in the backcourt. Harris's steal. Mikesell launching, straight on three, bullseye. Taylor Mikesell, no hesitation, and connects. 5 3-pointers now for Ohio State, who takes a 4-point lead. Hobbs attacks down the alley. Kick out Stuck. Stuck working into the lane. Picks up her dribble, and she travels.
This is painful to watch as a Wolverines fan. To start off so hot, get the offense going, and the offense hasn't even been that bad. Just been the turnovers, and frankly, letting Ohio State get back in it. Props to them.
Michigan shooting 70% from the field, but down by 4. The press has completely flipped the script of this one so far. Underneath is McMahon, and she's called for steps. So everyone's running, no dribbling. 94 seconds, Michigan ball, down 4, 21-17. Camp Schroeder to Nolan, back to Camp Schroeder in the backcourt with Theory, and she throws it away. Another turnover. McMahon, cross court, Mikesell drives, pull up, floater, rolls off the rim, and the rebound controlled by Brown.
This transition play is painful.
Brown moving left on the wing, finds Kaiser on the left side. Thought about a 3, jab steps. Now rumbles right. Finds Stuck in the corner, wraps around the screen, and she throws it away. Harris' steal. Harris, backdoor. Mikesell drops it underneath for Theory. Loose ball. Michigan's got it. And Camp Schrader slows things down. Flips on the left wing, Stuck, and Leah Brown is thrown to the deck. A foul on Mikesell.
42 seconds remaining in this quarter, and it's just such a mixed bag for this game. I don't even know what to say.
A whopping 7 turnovers for Michigan, including 4 in the last 2 minutes.
We'll discuss this at the intermission, but the full court press, it's working great for Ohio State, but some of the blame has to go on KBA.
Camp Schrader on the left side. Kick it, left wing, Kaiser for 3. In and out. Rebound, McMahon. Right to left in a hurry, down the middle. Snakes left, lobs into the corner. It's caught by Costner, back into the arms of McMahon. Cross court it goes, the handoff for Theory. Theory on the wing on the crossover. Kick, left wing, McMahon. Back to Theory on the right side with 12 to shoot. Working with Kaiser. Theory hands off Mikesell with 8 to shoot. Underneath. In the post, back up top. Theory, 4 to shoot. Low go 3. It's good! What a shot from Theory. And the Buckeyes are up 7. Ari Wiggins into the front court is not going to get a shot off as the first quarter comes to a close. An emphatic 8-0 run to close the quarter by Ohio State. 6 made 3-pointers for the Buckeyes and 7 forced turnovers with that relentless press.
Not a great quarter for the Wolverines, especially since the timeout. They were looking great up 10-2 at the timeout. We thought it would be one-sided. And when they're able to shoot, they're looking decent. Just since then, it isn't the best. We see the transition play. The full court press is making this team look like a bunch of junior varsities. It's not how you're going to win this game. And that is how Toledo ended up taking down the Wolverines, giving Michigan their only out-of-conference loss and their first loss of the season. They had full court press that entire game. Then we look to both games against Michigan State. The Wolverines won. They beat the Spartans. But both times the Spartans kept it much closer than it probably should have been because they had the full court press from basically the beginning. Buckeyes have watched their clip, done their homework, and they're executing this perfectly. I'm concerned of a team like the Buckeyes, who, as we discussed in the pregame, are pretty flawed and on a downward trend, are able to take over a game like this. What will happen when they face a top team in either the Big Ten tournament like Maryland or Iowa or Indiana, or what's going to happen when they face a top team nationally if they have to face, I don't know, South Carolina, Stanford, UConn? It's not going to be pretty.
And I think in moments like the latter half of the first quarter is really where Layla Felia's absence shines through. Felia last played on January 29th at Minnesota, and Michigan misses her. That's Michigan's primary ball handler. She was emerging so strong to begin her sophomore season, and without Felia, it really presses Maddie Nolan and Leah Brown into ball handling duties, and Michigan's backcourt is a little thinner.
Nolan and Brown are both fantastic on offense, but when you have to ask them to do more than they're capable of, capable might not be the word, but just they're stretching them so thin, they can't focus on the offense, which is their true dominant position. And then you see just rough turnovers, but most of the turnovers are coming on the full court play, just bringing it up. When you can't even bring it up from an inbound pass from under the basket, what can you do? And it's nothing new. They've known it since they played Toledo back in December. They had it showcased to the world when they played Michigan State both of the times. KBA needs to make some adjustments, and she needs to make it yesterday.
And Brown is more of a capable ball handler than Nolan, but Felia is a true, pure point guard, and that's where her absence is really felt. So both teams breaking their huddles here to begin the second quarter. The Buckeyes have stormed back and taken a 7-point lead, 24-17. It's been a game split in two. Michigan was up 10-2. Ohio State called a timeout, and it's been all Buckeyes ever since. Brown, Nolan, Kaiser, Kyra Evans, and Ari Wiggins, the five out there for Michigan. Wiggins at the point, flips it right wing for Nolan, back to Wiggins up top. Rifles right side, Leah Brown. Brown with theory, drops it into the post for Kaiser. Kaiser facing the basket, goes to work across the lane. Kaiser spinning inside, and she traveled. Strong defense by Mikula Shikova for Ohio State, forcing yet another Wolverine turnover.
Michigan kind of their own full court press, not quite as successful so far.
Just Ari Wiggins in the backcourt to hound Harris, who gets it across with ease. Theory up top for Mikesell. Mikesell slips the screen, moves left, flips it on the left wing for McMahon, who rumbles right. McMahon shut off down the alley. Theory up top, back to Theory. Theory with Kaiser, flips right wing McMahon. McMahon off the bounce at the elbow. Left wing, Mikula Shikova for three. Ring that one up. It's raining threes for the Buckeyes in enemy territory, 27-17. Michigan breaks the press. Leah Brown all the way, lays it in, and a foul. That's the first time tonight we've seen the Wolverines break that press effortlessly.
Yeah, and that's the one upside to pressing so early. You give the Wolverines so much time to combat it and really just punish the opponent. That's how Michigan ended up coming back down 12 against Michigan State in East Lansing. And if the Wolverines have any say, that's how it'll happen so far.
So Leah Brown, a 76% free throw shooter, will go to the line for one. First, some conversation among the referees. Not sure what the holdup is here. Brown has 9 points so far. That ties her with Mikesell to lead all scorers. And there's going to be a whistle here, perhaps some sort of review.
KBA is livid at the scorer's table right now.
Well, not sure what the review is, but judging by Barnes-Arico's reaction, could it possibly be something against Michigan here?
Thinking offensive charge. That's the only thing that get me that riled up. It's so tough to overturn these two on replay when it could go either way, but if the call's on the court at home for the Wolverines, I just don't know.
You wonder if Brown potentially used her forearm to lean into Mikula Shikova there as she head towards the basket. 27-19 your score nonetheless. We're at a media timeout. 9:06 to play in the second quarter. It's just jarring to look at some of these numbers on the scoreboard right now. Michigan shooting 67% but trailing by 8, largely because of its 8 turnovers and the fact that the Buckeyes are unconscious from 3, shooting 88%.
That's incredible to go 7 for 8 this early in a game. That alone, 21 points, that would be beating Michigan, ignoring anything else. We'd like to thank those tuning in at home and around the globe in the greater Southeast Michigan area on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. We're very excited to bring listeners this game over the FM airwaves. It's been pretty one-sided since midway through the first. 9:06 remaining in this first half. Michigan trailing 19-27.
The Wolverines came out of the gates guns a-blazing for this big-time rivalry matchup with so much at stake in terms of postseason seeding implications. The Wolverines opened up on a 10-2 run, but since Ohio State has dominated, outscoring Michigan 25-9. That's why the Buckeyes find themselves up by 8. A real impressive showing so far, showing their mettle and fortitude by Ohio State.
And let's see, no word yet from the scorer's table. Feel like they've kind of extended this into a de facto media timeout. Finally coming out of the huddle, they will line up, so it looks like the call will stand at least for now.
I'm curious if they announced what exactly they were reviewing.
Yeah, I'm really puzzled right here because it looked pretty clear to me. I know I'm high up in the media press box, but it looked like a very clean going for the basket and a blocking foul.
Well, Adam, you might as well be a referee.
I know. There's a reason why they don't have me on the hardwood, so I'll defer to them. But it's so tough to overturn this, and they discussed on the court for a couple moments and then are taking forever at the scorer's table to make a decision.
One of the referees is talking right now with Mikula Shikova, who was originally called for the foul, and now that same referee heading over to talk to Brown at the free throw line. And so the world will never know what exactly was reviewed, but Brown will be at the line to shoot one. Nothing but nylon as Leah Brown caps off a three-point play to bring Michigan within 7, 27-20, 9 minutes to play in the second quarter as Harris brings it up down the right side. Toss to Mikula Shikova on the high post along the left wing. Flips it back left wing Harris working with Wiggins, the two guards against one another as Mikesell catches up top, slips the screen, moves right with Nolan. Mikesell drops it off on the baseline for McMahon working with Brown. Jab steps, works the baseline, kicks in the corner. Theory makes a leaping grab, back out left wing Harris, shot clock winding down and she drains a three. Unbelievable three-point shooting for Ohio State. 8 of 9 from beyond the arc. Brown the other way, jets down the alley, goes at Mikula Shikova and lays it in with the left hand.
More of the upside of this fast break offense.
And then Kaiser blocks Theory at the rim. Ohio State almost caught Michigan sleeping, then Brown nearly turns it over. It pinballs off a few Buckeyes to Wiggins in the corner. Kaiser now on the left side as this frenetic pace erupts. Kaiser spins with the left, blocked but fouled by Mikula Shikova. And Emily Kaiser will head to the stripe for 2. So the pace of this game really starting to pick up, and both teams giving the referees an earful.
You know it. And they're going to rule that as a shooting foul, too. Michigan able to bring it within 6, potentially.
2 fouls on Mikula Shikova. Kaiser, 81% free throw shooter.
I'm just in awe about the three-point shooting. I don't have words. 9 for 10.
Kaiser goes in and out on the first, and it's just difficult for Michigan to keep pace when the Buckeyes are shooting 90% from 3. Kaiser off the heel on the second, but Evans grabs the board. Out for Leah Brown. Right wing 3. Got it! Leah Brown with a pep in her step as she runs back on defense. Gives Ohio State a taste of its own medicine with a 3-ball.
I hate to be kind of overly optimistic, but that foul almost worked out for them.
And then an offensive foul on the Buckeyes, an illegal screen. It's going to go on Harris, so Michigan now seizing back some of that momentum just a little bit.
Down by 5 with the ball. Plenty of game left, 7:44 remaining in the second quarter.
15 points now for Leah Brown after that made 3 as Wiggins scoots around the press into the forecourt. Lost the handle. Harris on the deck. She's got a steal. McMahon up the left side with Brown in the corner. Back to the point for Harris. Harris with Wiggins. Calls for a Walker screen. Moves right. Floats it left wing. Theory's wide open. She missed it.
Finally. Took forever.
A miracle. Brown the other way, jets into the forecourt, down the alley to the cup, lays it in. Leah Brown putting on a show. She's got 17, 30-27. Michigan's cut the lead to 3. 7 minutes to play in the second.
I didn't realize she was already up to 17 this early in the game.
Theory on the crossover, drives left, gets to the cup. Evans with the contest, and Theory left it short. Wiggins left to right, down the far side. They find Brown on the left wing. Brown's had the hot hand. She calls for a screen. Brown moves left, one-on-one with Theory. And a whistle and an offensive foul is going to go on Cameron Williams, who was jostling for position. And the Wolverines just can't even help themselves at this point.
Yeah, they have a 7-0 run, so they're inching their way back. But can't stop tripping themselves up, getting in their own way. Down only 3 with 6:41 remaining in the half.
30-27. Michigan trailed by as many as 10. Ohio State is trailed by as many as 8. The Wolverines riding a 7-0 run on the back of Leah Brown. Mike Sell on the right wing. Launching for 3. Left it short, and Kaiser had the board, lost it. Walker ripped it away, and the arrow will stay this way. So Kaiser and Brown were both in there for the board, and that split-second moment of hesitation of who was going to grab it allowed Walker to come in and tie it up.
That's just tough to see.
Walker floats on the right wing for Theory. Left wing feed to Mike Sell. Mike Sell drops it off on the right wing. Harris curls into the lane. With the right, the floater is good with a kiss off the glass for Harris, and she'll have a chance to complete a 3-point play.
Adding a bit of cushion to their lead with that basket. It's a 5-point game now. Got an adjustment here as Cameron Williams takes a seat.
So Harris, who is just a 60% free throw shooter, to the line. And she got a nice friendly roll to complete the 3-point play and push the Buckeyes lead back to 6. More full court press for Ohio State. Hobbs floats it across the timeline right wing for Brown. Steps into an 18-footer wide open, left it short. Chased down her own miss at the foul line. Great hustle by Leah Brown. Drops it off into the post for Kaiser. Back out Brown. Passed up a 3. Drives Brown into the lane. Floater off the heel. Kaiser goes crashing to the deck as Ohio State comes away with the board. McMahon lobs underneath. Theory comes down with it and lays it in. Well, that's how you break a press. And the Buckeyes back up 8. 5:48 to play in the second. Hobbs across down the middle. Stumbles with the dribble. Into the forecourt. Michigan will slow things down. Crockett into the game for the first time. Angles right. Crockett Moving left now, nothing doing. Finds Nolan on the wing with 8 to shoot. Around a Kaiser screen. Nolan at the foul line. Kick left wing, Crockett with 4 into the post. Kaiser over Walker. The hook shot's off the side of the rim, and the rebound is flagged down by Harris.
Just not a good shot selection there.
Harris moving right. Kick back Walker at the high post. Fakes, but she traveled before the dribble drive.
We've seen several travels from both teams now.
It's been a sloppy game. That's 6 turnovers for Ohio State and 10 for Michigan. High scoring as well, 35-27. Buckeyes with the lead. 5:11 left in the quarter.
Evans is going to check in too for the Wolverines. Keep an eye on her.
And Emily Shoemate into the game for the Buckeyes. Hobbs looking to break the press. Finds Evans at the block. M pass for Nolan. Drive and kick for Kaiser in the short corner. Out for Hobbs. Tees up a right wing 3. Got it to go. Jordan Hobbs rings up a 3. And Michigan knocks down a 3 to the draw within 5. 4:46 to play. Mikesell on the handoff, moving left. Tries to thread the needle. It goes through the legs of Walker, off her heel and out of bounds, over to Michigan. So the Buckeyes now getting a little careless with the basketball. That's up to 7 turnovers for them. 4:35 to play in the second. Nolan breaks the press down the far side. Nolan up top for Leah Brown. Brown matched up with McMahon. Gets a screen from Evans, now draws a switch. Floats it right wing for Kaiser. Kaiser with Walker, drive and kick. Brown on the left wing, scoots by her defender, into the lane, the pull-up. Off balance, it's pure. Leah Brown up to 19 points. 35-32, Michigan down 3. Mikesell for Walker at the foul line. Walker facing Kaiser. Skip feed into the far side corner for Theory with Evans. Back to Walker. High post Jay off the heel. Rebound chased down in the far side corner by Evans. Brown motors the other way. Brown drive and kick. Hobbs for the tie. Off the heel. Rebound fought for by Evans, and she commits the over-the-back foul.
That's tough to see right there. Going for the ball, basically giving up the possession. Unable to land the rebound. We got another substitution here. Wiggins is going to check in. Believe for Brown, giving her a little bit of rest after 19 points.
We wonder if that's it for the first half for Leah Brown and how Michigan can hold serve without her. Wolverines have cut the Buckeye lead to 3. They've trailed by as many as 10. It's a scoring drought that has elapsed over 2 minutes for Ohio State. Mikesell will look to break that. She has it at the block M, drops it left side for Theory. Theory spinning on Kaiser into the lane, and she turns it over. Evans got a hand on it. Nolan grabs the loose ball. Nolan left to right down the near side, now finds Wiggins just back into the game at the point. Wiggins pushes it along the left side for Hobbs. Hobbs finds Evans at the foul line. She's left open, can't hit the jumper. Wiggins tips the rebound right to Harris. Harris the other way, goes at Hobbs all the way to the cup. Basket's good and a foul off the window again. A near identical play to what we saw just moments ago.
And that's not great. We have practically the entire second team in right now and allowing Ohio State to pad their cushion and go into the locker room with just even more oomph and momentum is the last thing you want to do in the final moments of this first half.
Has 11 points, 4 of 4 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, and 1 of 1 from the line. Make that 2 of 2 from the line, so her perfect shooting evening continues. 38-32, Buckeyes up 6 with 3 to play in the second quarter. Wiggins trapped on the left wing in a double. Ari Wiggins twisting like a pretzel, and she turns it over. Harris up ahead for Mikesell, 1 man to beat. Step throughs into the lane, missed the floater. Rebound knocked around, Evans corrals.
Huge comeback, but not a good turnover.
Nolan on the right wing with Theory. Michigan just trying to settle down, up to 11 turnovers now as Leah Brown waits to check in. No rest for the weary tonight. Kaiser on the right wing, pressed by Walker, floats cross court. Nolan, separation for a left wing 3, pops in and out. And the rebound for Theory. Evans has to be careful. She could have been called for another over the back. Harris up top around the screen. It's an illegal screen by Ebony Walker. Offensive foul. Ball goes back to Michigan with 2:18 to play.
Here's the substitution. Wiggins is going to go back to the bench, bringing the star player, Leah Brown. Huge ovation from the crowd when she gets back on the hardwood.
And Wiggins has had all sorts of trouble tonight. 2 turnovers in 5 minutes. Michigan just needs Brown in this game. She lobs for Kaiser in the short corner, looking for a backdoor to Brown. And Theory got a hand on it to knock it out of bounds. Brown holding her face in a bit of pain, checking for blood, complaining that she might have been hit there as she was darting towards the rack. Walker takes a seat for Ohio State. Mikula Shikova back into the ball game despite 2 fouls. Brown inbounds for Kaiser. Right back to Brown. Short corner jumper. Left is short. Gets her own miss. Goes back up. Lays it in. Oh, we are witnessing a fantastic first half performance by Leah Brown.
Breaks 20 with 21 on the evening.
38-34. A whistle and an offensive foul. It goes on Theory, who was on the left side, and she committed the illegal screen. So back-to-back possessions that Ohio State has committed an illegal screen, and Michigan's in the bonus.
Since it was offensive, it won't be shooting, but huge for the final 154 in the quarter.
As Michigan looks to make up this 4-point deficit with 1:50 and rolling to play. Hobbs left to right, snakes into the front court and breaks the press. Rifles into the corner looking for Brown. Buckeye McMahon got her hand on it to knock it out of bounds. It'll stay this way. With every pass in this game, you're on your edge of your seat a little bit. Brown inbounds in front of the Buckeye bench. Gets it into the block M for Hobbs. Hobbs into the arms of Brown, who calls out a play high on the left side, tapping her head with her left hand and dribbling with her right. Brown with Theory around the screen from Kaiser. High steps to her right. Picks up her dribble at the elbow. Cross-court feed. Hobbs. Left wing 3. Yes! Jordan Hobbs dials in her second 3 of the half, and it's a 1-point game.
Beautifully drawn up play and beautifully executed. You know Leah Brown's a true leader when you see moments like that.
75 seconds to play in the first half as Crisler gets loud. 38-37. Buckeyes clenching a 1-point lead. Theory up top with 12 to shoot, moves left, given the corner for Harris. Harris unloads a 3 off the heel, and she's fouled by Jordan Hobbs. And the air has just been punctured out of this balloon.
Was great defense, a terrible shot, and you just give her a chance to add on to that lead when something like that happens.
Harris, a 60% free throw shooter, is perfect from the line at 2 of 2 and from the field at 4 of 4 today. She'll have 3 upcoming. And she drills the first. 39-37, Ohio State up 2. Michigan's led by as many as 8. Ohio State is led by as many as 10. Second for Harris, flushes home, swiveling around. It's just this kind of night for her so far. She has 4 steals as well. 1 more at the line. Got it.
At halftime, I think they should check the iron content in that rim. There must be a magnet or something underneath it.
Certainly for Harris, 41-37. The Buckeyes' lead is back to 4 with 52 seconds to play in the first half. Kaiser on the right wing, friends. Brown on the left side. Brown drives. She's shut off. Now peels back beyond the arc, working with Theory. Lobs for Evans at the left elbow. Evans across the lane. Backs down Harris, and she is fouled. Oh, no, she's not. A delayed call. It'll be a travel. So Kyra Evans called for steps.
Not what you want to see. Bring it within 1. You give up 3 points from fouling, and then you give up another possession due to a travel. Michigan's making their own mistakes, digging their own graves.
11-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock as the shot clock's down to 15. Ohio State up 4. Harris makes her move as she darts left, working with Hobbs and a whistle and a foul underneath on Kaiser, who held Theory cutting to the rack. And that'll turn the shot clock off.
Not only that, we're in the bonus for both teams.
And so Theory to the line for 2. She's just a 64% free throw shooter. No Buckeye is taking a free throw tonight besides Ricky Harris.
We got Maddie Nolan talking to one of the side refs. Really confused about what the call was there and how to respond. Regardless, 2 shots coming your way.
First one for Theory is no good, off back iron.
First miss of the night from the charity stripe for the Buckeyes.
And the second one was halfway down, but it sputters out. So the shot clock's turned off as Leah Brown holds high on the left wing with 15 seconds left in the first half, and Michigan trailing by 4, 41-37. Brown calls for a high screen from Kaiser. She wraps around it to the top of the key and draws McMahon on a switch. Give left wing Nolan with 3 to shoot. Back for Brown up top. Brown has to heave. Off the heel. Won't go. And the first half comes to an end. Michigan trails by 4, 41-37. The Wolverines burst out of the gates with a 10-2 run, but since it's been all Ohio State, the Buckeyes opened up as large as a 10-point lead. Michigan was able to trim that deficit to 1, but couldn't get back to leading.
Yeah, the Wolverines aren't letting the Buckeyes run away with this, despite just the crazy amount of turnovers and the incredible shooting percentage from Ohio State. Down only 4 at halftime, 41-37.
12 turnovers for Michigan. The Wolverines took about an entire quarter to adjust to that full court press. Ohio State also with 10 turnovers. It's part of the reason why the Wolverines have managed to get back into this ball game. The avalanche from 3-pointers for the Buckeyes, well documented. Ohio State 8 of 11 from beyond the arc, but they opened 8 of 9.
Yeah, it's just, it's a classic, instant classic right here. Both teams fighting for every possession, every pass even. Nothing taken for granted, and both teams' offenses completely tuned in tonight. Michigan is by no means having a bad night shooting. 37 points in the first half. Leah Brown already up to 21 points, but Ohio State is just not missing. Looking absolutely incredible so far in this one.
And Leah Brown has just been fabulous with 21 points on 9 of 14 shooting. Really getting whatever she wants and doing whatever she wants. She's on pace to break her single season high of 31 points.
The pace is good, but this has been a season to remember for her. Not only has she had incredible games like the 31-point domination, but also just day in, day out, she comes and brings a presence like we saw earlier, just as a leader and a captain of this program, directing the offense, setting screens. Nothing that you'll see concretely in the box score, but anyone who's watched a moment of this team knows is irreplaceable.
Also honored before the game for becoming a 1,000-point scorer in a Michigan uniform. No small achievement for Brown, who accomplished the feat in just 63 games. So 41-37 your score here. Seismic top 16 matchup between 2 of the top teams in the Big Ten. It's 41-37. The Buckeyes are in front of the Wolverines, and a little halftime marching band performance on the court. I don't recall ever seeing this.
Yeah, I've been coming to games for years now. This is unique. I hope the hardwood's okay at the mountain they're marching.
They are full-on stomping on the floor, waiting for them to play their instruments.
Yeah. Just getting the cardio in first. Reminds me of a football game halftime, the way this is going. The band brings some atmosphere to Crisler, especially nights like this on a Monday night, exam week. Not a ton of students were able to make it out. Maze Rage barely filling up the lower section. Can't blame them. Students have exams. I got an exam on Wednesday. Using this as a distraction.
Calling a game.
Yeah, much rather be doing this than studying.
Not a huge crowd, but a loud crowd tonight inside Crisler Center. It's gotten a lot of points and just a fabulous, entertaining first half of basketball for sure.
Are we going to see the back headstand? I don't know what it's called, but I think so.
Here you go. You got your wish, I think. Yep. How do they do that?
Oh, wow, that's incredible.
Do you think you could do that?
No, not at all. I'd fall right on my back and break my spine open.
Not only break your spine, you'd break it open.
Break it open. You'd be seeing the bone.
It
would not be pretty.
This is gnarly. Don't try it, okay?
Yeah. Only the biggest professionals.
Don't get too many Mountain Dews in you.
Oh, no. I love how they didn't bring the cymbals, but the drum major is acting as if she has cymbals here. This is really a treat. We see a lot of fun halftime shows. We saw Simon Says.
Saw Red Panda.
Red Panda Classic. But this might take the cake. I'm loving this.
The two of us have a knack for being on air for some pretty
good
halftime shows.
We've been doing games together for 4 years, and bearing any March Madness scheduling, this might be our last basketball game together. Just in the past month, we've done 3 or 4 together. We did
a lot of good ones.
A lot of great games. We did Indiana. We did Michigan State men's. We did Michigan State women's. Doing Ohio State women's tonight. Been a real treat broadcasting with you.
Same to you. Same to you.
Yeah. Not our final games individually, but looking like it might be our final games together. I'll be doing the men's game on Sunday, senior day, for the men's team against Wisconsin. You'll be going to Chicago for the tournament, potentially 3 additional games, and we'll see where we go from there, both in terms of women's and men's postseason.
Hopefully, women's can hold serve tonight and then host. Of course, that would be very conducive to our prospects as a station of covering those games.
Yeah. We'll see where they go. They try to keep geography in mind, at least for the men's NIT. Women's March Madness is a pure seeding thing, but as we said earlier, top 16 seeds host 2 rounds in their home stadium. Saw it at the first time forever for Crisler last year.
It was such a huge success last year, that round of 32 game. On a weeknight when Michigan hosted Villanova was just a great crowd. And so you'd love to see them get that opportunity to bring out the atmosphere in Ann Arbor again.
Certainly, and we'd love to call it. We were down at the scorers table for WCBN. I think
Charlie Brigham got a ball.
He did get a ball. We make those connections. We covered every home women's game last year and 5 or 6 road games too, so it was a real treat to cap off the season like that. Hoping to cover a Final Four. Unfortunately, the team lost in dramatic fashion in Wichita, Kansas. We'll see about this year, both the men's and the women's. The NIT is also campus site, so that could save us some money depending on how the men's team finishes up the season too.
41-37 your score here tonight at halftime. The Buckeyes with the 4-point lead over the Wolverines. It was a vastly entertaining first half. Fast pace, good atmosphere, and some great, albeit sloppy basketball.
Sloppy play, but it's a warning sign. I hope this is the alarm bells that they need to hear as they go into the Big Ten tournament, as they go into March Madness, that they need to crack down on this full court play. We saw hints of it earlier, and you hoped that Coach Kim Barno-Ricos would make the adjustments, but so far we haven't really seen it. Got a week left until Big Ten tournament in Minneapolis, and then a week after that until March Madness. Should be time at practice. You got to work on it, because you know if Ohio State's watching the clips, all the other top teams in the Big Ten and around the country are seeing this too.
The Wolverines, of course, missing Layla Filia, whose prolonged absence continues. They could really use her tonight, as we've mentioned, against the press.
And with that, the marching band is headed back up to their perch.
There are so many of them. You don't quite notice it when they're in like this little compressed area.
Yeah.
They took up practically the whole court.
They got one section. It's not even really a full section because it's right above the tunnel. I guess our angle's not really conducive, but it's loud, especially when they face off with the opposing team shooting free throws. They planned that on purpose for second half, both men's and women's. 7 minutes, 17 seconds remaining in this intermission. Both teams still in the locker rooms. You know it's going to be a classic. The Buckeyes leading by 4, and I just lost my mind. We got a shout out on the scoreboard saying tune in to WCBN at the halftime messages. I wish I knew that was coming. I would have taken a photo.
Who put that there?
I have a feeling it was maybe Charlie Brigham, but that was really special. I lost my train of thought when we saw that.
Hey, it's caught on the broadcaster cam.
I wish we would have turned it around. And,
we could see your reaction to it.
You can see my reaction, but you can't see the Jumbotron. I wish I would have had a heads up. I would have taken a photo or turned the broadcaster cam around. For those tuning in over the FM airways, we're headed towards the top of the hour. We just want to thank you for tuning in on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. We love bringing you this live sports coverage, commercial-free. We try to get a variety of different teams. So far this calendar year, school year rather, we've done 8 different sports broadcasts over the FM airwaves. We look forward to bringing a couple more with lacrosse and water polo and baseball and softball coming up soon. We got the home openers of both will be over the FM airwaves.
Those sports always start playing at home so soon. Hopefully the weather is conducive to them as they begin their home slates. Both teams began their seasons. Baseball this past weekend and then softball as well. So exciting, always an exciting time when baseball and softball spring back into action.
A lot of question marks for both of those teams for the first time in literal decades. Both softball and baseball have new head coaches.
A rarefied air around here, especially with the softball program.
Yeah.
Carol Hutchins has been the face of Michigan softball and in many ways Michigan athletics for so long.
Yeah. And don't lock it in, but we're going to try and get her on a broadcast this year, maybe for an inning or two.
Now that would be a must listen.
She's a big-time friend of the program, really loves WCBN, so we're hoping to pull that off.
That would be fantastic.
And with that, we're about to hand it over to our second half crew, Kelin Flynn, Alex Miller. It's been a real privilege calling this first half. Hopefully for Michigan fans, the second half goes a little bit better. But any final words, Jared? This could be your last home broadcast at Crisler.
It might be. Well, thanks as always to all our listeners. It's been a pleasure broadcasting alongside Adam for all these years and all these great calls. Always a fun time with Michigan basketball, whether it be men's or women's, inside the Crisler Center. And that continued tonight with an excellent first half of basketball, as I'm now joined by Kelin Flynn. Buckeyes on top, 41-37, Kelin. An entertaining first half of basketball between these two teams. Michigan started off strong, wilted in the middle, and stabilized a little bit towards the end. What do the Wolverines need to do in this second half to turn their fortunes around and come back and win this game?
Well, Jared, if you like made baskets, you like outside shooting, this is the game for you. The Buckeyes shooting 73% in that first half from beyond the arc. The Wolverines shooting 45%, so a lot of dangerous outside shooting as I welcome in my partner for the second half, Alex Miller. But to answer Jared's question, one, Michigan just needs to hope Ohio State cools off from the three-point line. It's hard to beat a team that shoots 73% from the three-point line on volume. You're just not going to win many basketball games against a team like that. And the second thing Michigan needs to correct is the turnovers. 12 turnovers in the first half. Alex, that's something you and I were talking about as we were sitting next to each other watching this first half off the air, and Ohio State with 10 turnovers. But if you're Michigan, 12 turnovers in a half of basketball, that's another thing that's not going to win you a lot of basketball games. The last time the Wolverines played Ohio State, they turned the ball over far too many times. They're trending that direction tonight. What can they do specifically, Alex, to kind of curb that?
Well, a lot of those turnovers have come against Ohio State's press. But there's also just been, and those are ones that Ohio State's going to get in that press. That's the goal of it. I mean, Michigan could do a little bit of a better job making safer passes to get across the timeline. But Ohio State's goal there is to generate turnovers, and they're going to get a few. But where you can minimize the turnovers is in the half-court setting. There's been a couple of sloppy lob and entry passes to the post that you can do a little bit better job. Just being a little bit more careful with the ball. There's been a couple traps that Ohio State's been able to get on the wing, and just getting the ball outside of those double teams quickly and keeping it moving.
Michigan went to Ohio State on New Year's Eve back in December of 2022. And in that game, the Wolverines, they turned it over a lot, 27 total times to Ohio State's 16. Michigan with 12 in the first half. So trending in that same direction. We're about 2 minutes away from getting back to the action here from the Crisler Center. Alex, the big story on the Michigan side, though, is Leah Brown's 21 points on an efficient 9 of 14 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3, and one of those a last-second heave as the game clock was expiring. What does Michigan need to do to ease the burden on their top scorer, who was recognized tonight for breaking 1,000 career points in the maize and blue, the 5th fastest to do it in program history? And she's been on an absolute tear as of late, 26 points per game in her last 7. How does Michigan ease that burden offensively on Leah Brown?
Well, first off, it's not like Brown has really been struggling tonight with that burden. I mean, she's been scoring very efficiently, but I think they're going to have to try. They've been relying a lot on the half court, which I think slowing down Ohio State is the right idea on the offensive end. But it would be good to try to swing the ball around the perimeter a little bit more, get Jordan Hobbs and Maddie Nolan some three-point looks. And Emily Kaiser only has 6 points, so a quiet half for her. She's only taken 4 shots, and 2 of them have been from the three-point land. So getting her a couple post touches could be key in this second half.
And that's exactly right, Alex. Michigan this entire season was a team that worked out of the post for much of the early season, especially through Emily Kaiser. She was on a tear to start the year, cooled down a little bit, but still a very, very respectable season from Kaiser.
Well, I think as we've gotten further into the year and we've gotten into Big Ten play, Kaiser's ran into some bigs who can really contain her in the post, but even just getting her the ball and letting her work inside out and drawing an extra defender, being able to swing the ball to open shooters, opens up this offense for the perimeter players.
Kaiser averaging 16 points a game on the season, still an awesome number, but it dips down to 14 in conference play. Meanwhile, Leah Brown averaging nearly 19 a game in conference play this year, compared to 17 and a half on the season. We're moments away from getting back to the action here at the Crisler Center. Michigan and Ohio State. Buckeyes up 41-37. If you're just joining us, thank you for tuning in through YouTube or over the FM airwaves. It's always a pleasure to be live on the FM airwaves here at WCBN. And it's Emily Kaiser to inbound to Leah Brown. That will get us underway. It's Nolan, Hobbs, Brown, Kaiser, and Williams for Michigan. Harris, Theory, Walker, Mikesell, and McMahon for the Buckeyes. Nolan has it, top of the key. Finds Brown on the near side wing. Brown goes baseline. She's doubled. Kick out to Hobbs in the opposite corner. Hobbs a 3. It's good. Jordan Hobbs kicks off the party for Michigan. 41-40. Wolverines down 1. Jordan Hobbs with her 3rd three-pointer of the evening. Mikesell defended by Nolan at the logo. Waiting for some action to develop. Harris, baseline, falling out of bounds as she flips it up. Tough shot there. Won't go. That was Walker. Leah Brown has it now. Floats it inside to Cameron Williams, and that pass was picked off by Walker. Coming the other direction are the Buckeyes. Tough spin move. Won't go from the freshman Cody McMahon, and she's called for an offensive foul.
That pass on that entry pass on the other end were one of the turnovers we were talking about earlier that the Wolverines have to minimize to stay in this ballgame. It's just an errant pass into traffic there.
And here we see the Buckeyes extending that full court pressure again. Hobbs tries to break it, loses her dribble. She's harassed in the backcourt. Nolan has it now. They got to get it over. And that's a 10-second violation. Ohio State capitalizes on the press. Michigan can't get it over. And that's the 13th turnover for the Wolverines. 14th. Here comes Harris. Waiting. Mikesell comes off a screen for a three and fills it. Taylor Mikesell, 5th in the country in three-pointers made, 2nd in the conference, only to Caitlin Clark. And a travel on the Wolverines. That'll go on Hobbs. And Michigan down 44-40 now. A couple of turnovers after a nice three from Hobbs to start the half, Alex.
Turnovers in the press. I mean, Ohio State's going to stay in that press after every made basket until Michigan proves they can consistently beat it, and they have not done so at all throughout this game.
Ebony Walker has it at the top of the key. Walker, dribble handoff to Harris. Harris finds Mikesell. Walker lost a shoe. Mikesell attacking. A horde of Wolverines collapse. Kick out. Walker, wing three, can't fill it. Jordan Hobbs secures the missed shot. Hobbs pushing the other direction. Mikesell defending. Crosses over. Flip out to Brown. Brown inside to Kyra Evans. Back out to Kaiser. Flips it to Brown. Receives a screen from Kaiser. Brown on the attack. Kick out Maddie Nolan. She'll pull a three. Won't go. And that'll go out of bounds. Buckeye basketball.
Maddie Nolan missed by a pretty wide margin on that three, but in general, that's a pretty good look for the Wolverines when your best three-point shooters off the catch, and it's a nice look by Leah Brown to get it out to Nolan there.
Ricky Harris inside to Ebony Walker. On the wing, that's Taylor Theory, and she's called for an offensive foul. Excuse me, that's off the ball. That's on Walker. 3rd foul on Walker. And Michigan treading water right now despite some offensive inefficiencies. Nolan has it, defended by Mikesell at the big block M. Finds Hobbs. Hobbs gets it ripped by Ricky Harris. Harris just picked her pocket in transition. Won't go, but Harris draws a foul on Hobbs. And Ricky Harris will head to the free throw line. Harris with 5 attempts so far tonight from the stripe. She's 5 for 5. As Hobbs, with her 3rd foul, will take a seat on the bench. Greta Kampschrader checks in for Michigan. And Ricky Harris clangs that first free throw off back iron. One more pending for the redshirt junior guard. Second one is good, extending the Buckeye lead to 5, 45-40. Kaiser to Kampschrader. Michigan trying to break the press, and they do. Nolan gets it across half court, and she's rode by Theory all the way to the cup. Foul on Taylor Theory. And that's 3 on Theory now. Some thinking for Kevin McGruff and that coaching staff with 3 fouls on Theory. Nolan to Brown. Brown's going to go baseline. Brown under the basket, falls away, got it to go. My goodness, what a tough bucket from Leah Brown. She has been downright tremendous tonight for Michigan. Ricky Harris has it. Gets a screen inside. Harris, tough bucket and one. The 5'10" guard from Indianapolis just goes to the cup and out-muscles her defender.
Leah Brown not happy about that call, but either way the ref calls it. Really strong take by Ricky Harris to answer Leah Brown's bucket on the other end.
Second foul on number 32 in the maize and blue, Leah Brown. Three-point play won't go. It's only 2 from the Buckeyes as Harris misses her second free throw. And that pass is stolen, just an errant feed. Mikesell, step back, won't go. Buckeyes can't capitalize, but another errant pass from the Wolverines. Nolan has it, crossover. Finds Leah Brown, guarded by Theory. On the near side wing. Brown barking out directions, gonna reset it. 13 on the shot clock. 6:23 on the game clock in the quarter. Brown on the wing, goes baseline. Flips it to the far corner. Camp Schrader, pump fakes, shot clock running down. Got to get a shot off. Evans ping-pongs around and won't drop from the mid-range area. 47-42, Buckeye lead. Theory has it, defended by Kaiser. There's a three, won't go. And Michigan will push the other direction. Kaiser has it, finds Leah Brown. Brown, she'll pull a three on the other end, won't go. Rebound goes to Camp Schrader on the offensive side. Camp Schrader got stuck under the bucket and threw it off the back of the rim, but it goes off of Harris, and Michigan retains possession. And Michigan will inbound now from the baseline. That's Nolan to throw it in. Nolan finds Emily Kaiser. Kaiser finds Brown. Brown attacking into the lane. Leah Brown, fall away. Short. Another offensive rebound for Camp Schrader. And she's going to be tied up by Ricky Harris. Stays. Excuse me, that'll flip now. Buckeye basketball. Horn sounds as Ari Wiggins checks in for Camp Schrader.
Camp Schrader had a couple of nice offensive rebounds there, but again, Michigan failing to convert on the offensive end right now.
And here comes Ohio State coming the other way. It's Harris with it, guarded by Wiggins. Finds Theory. Kulashevsky back to Theory. Mikesell gets a screen. Taylor Mikesell finds Harris. Buckeyes swing it around. Gets Brown in the air. Corner, Mikesell. Won't go. Offensive rebound being fought for and eventually winds up with Kyra Evans. Quick crossover from Leah Brown to create some space in transition, but nothing doing inside. Kaiser, tough shot, fouled by Mikesell. And Emily Kaiser will get a trip to the free throw line. She'll be shooting two.
Nice job by Emily Kaiser. They're getting a low post position and able to get the ball right under the basket and draw some contact, go to the stripe.
Media timeout on the floor. It's 4:55. Michigan 0 of their last 4 with 6 turnovers in the last about 5 minutes of play. Both teams haven't scored in over 2 minutes. Alex, we're really seeing this game start to slow down a little bit. Maybe not slow down, but it's turning into a more of a defensive battle with teams making more mistakes.
Well, the press is certainly speeding Michigan up a little bit on offense, and it's led to some sloppy passes and really overall possessions that really don't have a lot going for them. And on the other end, Ohio State has had a couple nice possessions. Taylor Mikesell had an open jumper on there and couldn't convert. I mean, right now, I think the pace and momentum is favoring Ohio State just in their ability to force the turnovers, and Michigan has really struggled to generate some great looks. They did a nice job in the last position getting Kaiser the ball down to the post, but really Michigan needs to get the ball moving again, and I mean Leah Brown perhaps needs to be a little bit more aggressive with her touches. It's been a sloppy couple minutes here.
It has been. And like I said, 6 turnovers for Michigan in the last 5 minutes of play or so. That brings their total to 18 on the game. Not a recipe for success. Buckeyes with 12 turnovers off of 10 steals. Michigan 3 steals to force 10 Buckeye turnovers. And again, the story of the game has been Leah Brown held to just 2 points through about 5 minutes of play in this second half compared to her 21 in half number 1. This is going to be a game that could come down to the wire here in Ann Arbor. When you look at the second half for Leah Brown, 1 of 3 with 2 points. Hobbs hit a 3 off rip. Other than that, no one else scoring from Michigan. For the Buckeyes in the second half, Ricky Harris rained home a 3, and so did Taylor Mikesell, and that's been it.
For Michigan, I think Leah Brown you can trust to get going and keep being aggressive on the offensive end, but really the question marks are the rest of the perimeter players, especially with Layla Felia out because of injury. It really sort of dampens the attack of this perimeter. Camp Schrader has had a couple looks but hasn't really done much. Jordan Hobbs has shot the ball well and has been aggressive, and I think Hobbs in particular is going to be the one who's got to replace Felia's scoring tonight for the Wolverines.
And you bring up a good point with no Layla Felia. Felia averaging 17 points a game on the season. She's been out for a while now, as on the Jumbotron they show an NBA lottery pick, Franz Wagner, who's in the house tonight to watch the women's team play. And Franz having a pretty solid year in the show for the Orlando Magic, one of the best young players in the league, part of a great young core down there in Orlando.
He certainly is. And I was getting ice cream, Michigan Creamery last night, and he walked right by me down State Street.
Look at that.
Yeah.
First free throw is good from Emily Kaiser. And Kaiser will await her second attempt. She's got 7 points and 4 boards for Michigan. Second free throw won't go for Kaiser. She's 2 of 6 from the stripe tonight. Well below her season average of around 81%. And here come the Buckeyes. On the attack inside, won't go. That's McMahon, the freshman, second chance, got it. Cody McMahon, the reigning freshman of the week in the Big Ten, as there's another turnover from the Wolverines. Harris will line up a three, can't get it to fall. Rebound goes to McMahon as she is stuffed by Kyra Evans, but a swarm of Buckeyes force a loose ball. Whistle blows. That'll be a foul on Cody McMahon.
McMahon is really such a physical presence, be it on the offensive glass or when she's slashing from on the perimeter. But unfortunately, going to get Kyra Evans there. Nice block and rebound by Evans for the Wolverines.
And that foul on McMahon will put Michigan into the bonus. And so that will be Kyra Evans trotting down to the free throw line. Kyra Evans. These are her first free throw attempts of the night. First shot is up, won't go. Michigan not shooting it particularly well from the stripe tonight. That brings their total to 3 of 8, just under 38% on the game. Second free throw left short by Evans, and Michigan leaving a lot of free points at the free throw line. Here's McMahon. Finds Theory. Theory top of the key, guarded by Kaiser. Going to set up the offense for Ohio State. Theory, corner, Harris. Back to McMahon. McMahon into the lane. McMahon, tough shot. Offensive foul. Emily Kaiser set her feet, went straight up and draws the foul. That's textbook defense. And that's 4 fouls now on Cody McMahon. 14.1 points per game on the season. Plays 27 minutes a game for Ohio State. That would be a big loss if she were to foul out, and she's definitely going to have to sit on the bench for a significant amount of time now.
McMahon has struggled tonight, but her scoring off the drive is really an integral part of this Ohio State offense. And another charge taken by the Wolverines. They've done a really nice job in that department tonight.
3:52 to go in the third quarter. And Michigan down 4. We've been apart by about 4 points for the last 10 minutes of game time or so. Neither team really able to separate, or in Michigan's case, cut into that deficit and take it over. Try to make that 49-43. Crisler Center having some issues with the scoreboard right now. I believe that is what our stoppage and play is for. Game clock on the Jumbotron's frozen at 4:55, which is, that was at the last media timeout. And go ahead, Alex.
Both teams have struggled a little bit to score over these last couple minutes. Michigan, again, has really been perplexed by the press, and I think they've just got to start trying to get the ball to Leah Brown even more than they already have, or let her even make a play as a passer or a scorer.
And some adjustments to the Jumbotron as they just show the live game feed from the TV network on there as a foul is called. Cameron Williams picks up Her second foul, offensive foul. And so it'll be a Buckeye basketball. That full court press still in effect for Ohio State on a made basket. Theory with it, guarded by Kaiser. Working. Sakova finds Mikesell. Mikesell gets a bucket, but a whistle blows. There's going to be a blocking foul. Offensive foul. That'll be on Harris.
If that had counted, that was a beautiful crossover and left-hand finish by Taylor Mikesell, but unfortunately wiped away by the offensive foul.
And everyone a little confused at what's going on with the display here at Crisler, but we're going to work through it. Ari Wiggins with a nice crossover to break the press there. Finds Brown on the far side wing. Brown cross-court pass to Jordan Hobbs in the opposite corner. Won't go. A good look from Hobbs, and she can't fill it. Mikesell has it, guarded by Maddie Nolan. Mikesell attacking into the lane. Tough floater. Can't get it to fall. Taps the rebound to her teammate. It's up and good. That was number 5, Emma Shoemate, the redshirt freshman from Dresden, Ohio. Nolan, nice crossover to get by Shoemate. Flips it up top to Hobbs, and Hobbs will reset it for Michigan. Brown in the lane. As another whistle blows. It's been very stop and start here, Alex, for these last 5 minutes or so.
Certainly has, and it's put Michigan in the bonus early in the quarter, and obviously, again, Leah Brown going to go to the stripe. The Wolverines really have not shot it well from the stripe today, which is pretty uncharacteristic from this team. Brown will get one.
As Leah Brown drills her first free throw, 2:41 to go in the game. Score is 51-44. Ohio State on top. Second free throw pure from Leah Brown. The foul was on Emma Shoemate there, as Cam Schrader checks in for Ari Wiggins. And again, with no Layla Filia for Michigan, we're seeing a lot more of Ari Wiggins and a lot more of Greta Camp Schrader, with Hobbs in that starting role. Mikesell, defended by Nolan, just crosses over half court, finds Theory to Harris. Back to Mikesell. Mikesell attacking into the corner. Shoemate. Back to Mikesell. Another whistle. And that'll be a foul on Maddie Nolan. That's Maddie Nolan's second foul. And so it'll be Theory to inbound. Finds Mikesell. Mikula Shakova with the screen. Into Mikula Shakova. Finds a cutting Shoemate. Excellent pass. Can't get it to fall, and she's blocked from behind after she grabs her own miss. Tries to throw it off the foot of Kaiser. Kaiser, seen that a time or two, able to collect it with ease. Leah Brown has it. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Nolan into the lane. Tough shot with the left hand. Can't get it to fall. Camp Schrader with another offensive rebound. Back to Camp Schrader. She'll pull a three from the far side. Wing won't go. Rebounded by Mikesell. Nice pass over the top, and it's good. Mikula Shakova fills it with an easy 2 for Ohio State.
She's made a couple of nice plays here. A nice pass in the previous possession that Shoemate couldn't finish. A nice floater there.
And Greta Camp Schrader is just ripped by Theory, able to tie her up for a jump. Michigan retains possession due to the arrow, but just not valuing the basketball. The Wolverines tonight. That's way too easy. 20 turnovers registered for Michigan. Unacceptable from Camp Schrader. Just leave that ball out like that. We've seen that a number of times from the Wolverines. Kaiser finds a cutting Brown. Brown back to Kaiser. Little two-man action there from the Wolverines. Emily Kaiser with an easy 2. Cuts the Ohio State lead to 6, 53-47. A minute 12 to go in the third quarter. Harris finds Mikesell. Mikesell guarded by Nolan. Mikesell attacking. Back out to Theory inside. Pump fake. Shot good. Mikula Shakova. She's got Back-to-back buckets for Ohio State. The Ohio State press still giving Michigan fits. Got to get it over, and they do, barely. And they're going to say Kaiser stepped out of bounds, maybe that they didn't get it over.
I think she didn't catch, they're saying she didn't catch it before 10 seconds had gone off. It looked like to me that the clock was still at 21 or 22 seconds before that whistle. And Leah Brown encouraging the boos here.
And boo birds raining down from the maize and blue faithful in the Crisler Center. Maze Rage wanted them to take a second look at it. So did Leah Brown. Officiating crew says no. And it'll be Ohio State. Mikula Shakova short on her three, and another whistle. And that's on Shoemate. As this will send Michigan to the free throw line. Looks like Hobbs will be the one at the stripe. And Alex, this has been just so choppy. Start, stop, start, stop. It feels like we haven't gone more than a single possession without hearing a whistle blow.
It's been such a difference from the first half when it was just basket after basket to really turnover and stop after stop.
First free throw good from Jordan Hobbs. Score is 55-48 Ohio State. Second free throw no good from Hobbs, and Michigan continues to struggle at the stripe. And from the field, they're one from their last 8 from the floor. Shot clock at 20, game clock at 22. And ticking, about 4 or 5 seconds separate the two clocks. Mike's out with it, guarded by Nolan. Nice crossover there, gonna step it back. Tough shot from Taylor Mikesell, and she leaves it short. Rebound by Maddie Nolan. Clock's at 6, Camp Schrader. And she just throws it away. Leah Brown winds up with it. Shot up at the buzzer, no good. And Michigan, after another sloppy quarter, is down 7, 55-48. After a turnover-plagued third quarter, 21 turnovers in the game so far for Michigan. 9 of them coming in the third quarter, Alex.
I mean, a really sloppy quarter there on both sides, but Michigan in particular just really needs to slow down these turnovers. I mean, 21 turnovers through 3 quarters is just not how you win basketball games. And I mean, if we talk about what they can do on the offensive end to sort of change this game around, I think they're going to have to slow, once they get past the Ohio State press, if they do based on how this game is going, they really need to slow down in the half court and try to work the ball around into maybe Leah Brown's hands, Emily Kaiser in the post, similar things that we talked about earlier. But a very slow quarter scoring-wise, and the Wolverines have to figure out where they can get some offense, be it Kaiser in the post, Brown and perhaps in the pick and roll with Kaiser. They sometimes have a really good 2-man game, but something has to give here for the Wolverines.
And Ohio State had 8 points in the paint in the first half. They had 10 points in the paint in just the third quarter there. The Buckeyes playing physically, getting inside and converting. Meanwhile, for Michigan, with 20 points in the paint in the first half, only 4 in that third quarter. Michigan's a team that thrives on getting good looks inside and unable to do so in the third. Still a lot of basketball left. 10 minutes to go. 55-48 with the fourth quarter still to come. Live from the Crisler Center, you're listening to WCBN Sports live coverage of Michigan women's basketball. Thank you for tuning in. Our coverage wouldn't be possible without our loyal listeners. And if you're tuned in on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and let everyone else know this is where you get your coverage. Feel free to share us with your friends and family and let other people know about supporting student radio here in Ann Arbor. I was fortunate enough to get back from Florida for an awesome softball tournament at the Clearwater Invitational. Michigan went 2-2 down there. In the games we saw, lost their final game of the tournament to Duke on Sunday. I believe that was the first time in station history on Saturday that we had 3 different games being called in one day from 3 different states. We had the hockey game, the face-off on the lake on FM and YouTube simulcast. And Then we had softball from Florida, softball in Florida, hockey in Ohio, and men's basketball from the Crisler Center versus Michigan State. But we're here for women's hoops tonight in the Big Ten. One of the premier women's hoops conferences in the country. Michigan and Ohio State 4 and 5. Ohio State's 4, Michigan's 5 in the conference. And they're both ranked in the top 16 in the country. Indiana's been dominant all year at number 2. The Iowa Hawkeyes, a top 10 team. It's the place to be.
Big Ten's been great
Maryland
this year.
Terrapins, a top 10 team.
Yep. Iowa plays Maryland tomorrow night. Should be a great matchup there, too.
We're back underway for the fourth quarter of action. Michigan looking to make a comeback. Harris flips it, won't go. That was Mikula Shakova. And Leah Brown will push for Michigan. Brown in transition, tough shot, won't go. Shoemate with good defense there, went straight up. Harris will pull up from the free throw line and fill it. Ricky Harris gets it to go for Ohio State as that full court press is still in effect. Hobbs pumps, gets by. Kaiser breaks the press. Camp Schrader has it now on the near side wing. Camp Schrader guarded by Shoemate. Flips it up top to Leah Brown. Brown guarded by Harris. Crosses over behind the back. Brown going to work. Trying to create some space. Brown, tough shot, won't go. Draws a whistle. Leah Brown working to create space in a phone booth there. And finally draws a whistle. 9:06 to go in the quarter.
Last two possessions there, Leah Brown really just took the ball and went at her defender attacking the rim, which I love to see, but two really tough shots. This time gets a chance to go to the stripe, but I think she's got to pick her spots a little bit better. I love the aggression, and I think she is the scorer Michigan's looking for down the stretch, but a couple ill-advised looks on those two possessions.
Brown sinks her first free throw and is pure on the second. Leah Brown set a career high of 31 points against Indiana earlier this season in a home loss. Brown could approach that number again tonight. She sits at 27 with about 9 minutes to play inside. Ohio State continues to go to work. Mikula Shakova with another one inside for the Buckeyes. Michigan hasn't had an answer for her of late. Wolverines break the press. Kyra Evans has it, finds Maddie Nolan. Nolan guarded by Harris to Brown, top of the key, defended by Shoemate. Inside, Kaiser, Emily Kaiser, tough shot, rejected by Theory. Kaiser gets her own rebound and can't finish the bunny. Michigan continues to struggle around the rim, but the loose ball knocks off a Buckeye, and Michigan will get a chance to reset off the baseline out of bounds.
Nice job getting into Kaiser there. Unfortunately, couldn't finish either of her two looks at the rim.
And the scoreboard back up and running here at the Crisler Center. Michigan inbounds to Kaiser, finds Brown. Brown going to work. Mid-range J, a little bit long. Offensive rebound to Kaiser, but another whistle. And that'll be on Ricky Harris. Michigan maintains possession.
A long, so far, fruitless possession here for Michigan. Hopefully off the inbound, perhaps they can get something going.
Jordan Hobbs, corner three, left it long as Leah Brown skies for the offensive board over Harris. Brown gonna post up. Double team comes, kick out, and a travel called on Leah Brown. Brown befuddled by the whistle. And that'll negate a Michigan three. 59-50, Ohio State looking to push as Michigan was slow to get back. Wolverines able to recover. Harris has it. Standing in that near corner of the block M. Theory attacking, guarded by Kaiser. Trying to find Mikesell. Mikesell working off a screen inside. Theory. Back out. Harris, she'll pull a deep three and fill it up. Ricky Harris with her third three-pointer of the contest. She's got 23.
Harris has had a great game from the perimeter tonight, really shooting it with confidence and had a couple tough threes for the Buckeyes.
Harris has been very aggressive tonight. Nolan at the edge of the block, M at midcourt. Waiting for the play to develop. Finds Hobbs on the far side wing. Back to Nolan. To Brown. 8 on the shot clock. And Brown just threw that one away. Tried to get it to Kaiser, and Kaiser couldn't get there in time. Michigan turns it over again. Their 23rd of the contest. And we'll have a timeout. Score is 62-50. Buckeyes extend their lead to 12 here in this second half, as we're at the under 8 media timeout. And Alex, Michigan time running out. 7 minutes, 7 seconds to play, down 12. You've got to start to right the ship here, because there's a lot at stake. Of the Buckeyes currently in that number 4 spot in the Big Ten standings, meaning that come March for the Big Ten tournament, Ohio State is in position to have a double bye. Michigan in the 5 spot right now would have to play an extra game, only getting 1 bye in the tournament. The winner of this game would move into 4th place if it's Michigan. If it's Ohio State, stay in that 4 spot. So this is a really big contest.
It is a really big contest when you look at the Big Ten, and Michigan throughout this year has sort of struggled against those top teams. They've struggled with Iowa, they've struggled with Indiana, but Ohio State, who's pretty injured right now, missing a couple key players, this is a winnable matchup for Michigan in a rivalry game at home, and they've just struggled to score the basketball here in the second half. Really, besides Leah Brown, there hasn't been a lot of scoring from Michigan. Jordan Hobbs has shot it well, but other players are going to have to step up, and that's the hard thing with working without Layla Felia, who's another really good scoring option on the perimeter for the Wolverines. And with her absence has been very noticeable against these top teams like Indiana and now Ohio State.
And Layla Felia has missed the last few games for this Wolverine squad. Their 2nd leading scorer on the season. Been a revelation at that 2-guard spot for Michigan this year. The sophomore has really turned it on in her 2nd season with the Wolverines. Turned into a star player, part of that big 3 with Kaiser and Leah Brown, that has propelled the Wolverines to where they are right now on the season. They're sitting at 20-6, 10-5 in Big Ten play. Buckeyes 22-5, 11-5 in Big Ten play.
Felia's ability to attack off the dribble really adds another element to this offense that we've seen them lack as of late. She's just able to get her own shots in a way that the other guards on this team, other than Brown, really are unable to. Jordan Hobbs has been aggressive, particularly from the 3-point line tonight, but hasn't really done much off the dribble. And I think with only Leah Brown really penetrating off the bounce, it's just, Felia just adds another element that they have not had tonight. And other guards, be it Cam Strader or Hobbs, or even Elise Stuck, someone has to step up for the Wolverines.
And this is an Ohio State team that was undefeated through mid-January, and then they lost to Iowa, went on a 3-game skid, and ended up losing 5 of their last 8, dropping them to 22-5, and they're looking to pick up a big win on the road against a ranked Michigan squad. We're back underway here. Under 7 to go from the Crisler Center. Theory has it, guarded by Kaiser. Back to Theory. Theory to Harris, the leading scorer for the Buckeyes. Harris into the lane, kicks it out. 3, way short. Mikula Shakova. And Ohio State will get into that press off of the air ball from Mikula Shakova, the Slovakian, in her senior season for Ohio State. Hobbs doubled, finds Kyra Evans. Evans just slows it down, and Michigan will set up their offense with only 15 on the shot clock. Leah Brown gets doubled, looking for Kaiser, and it's poked away. Another turnover for Michigan. Theory with it. Finds Mike Sell. Mike Sell blows past the closeout of Kaiser and leaves that one well short. Back-to-back air balls from the Buckeyes, but they're still up 12. And And Alyssa Crockett, the freshman, will check in for Kyra Evans. This is Crockett's first action tonight. Crockett with it. Coach Kim Barnes-Orico looking for a spark off the bench as we approach 6 minutes remaining in the game. Brown, kick out. Maddie Nolan, a three. Won't go, rims out. The Wolverines sharpshooter 0 for 3 from beyond the arc tonight as Leah Brown picks up a loose ball foul there, going for that rebound. That'll be 3 on Leah Brown.
Michigan could have really used that 3 from Maddie Nolan to cut into this 12-point deficit.
Ari Wiggins checks in for Nolan. And Harris goes right at her as she's swatted from behind. Emily Kaiser just rejects that shot at the bucket from Harris as in transition, Michigan unable to convert, and another Michigan turnover. 25 turnovers now for Michigan. Leah Brown has 5.
Back-to-back turnovers for Brown, trying to make a couple tough passes there, do a little bit too much perhaps. Couldn't get those in through traffic.
Deficit still 12 for Michigan, 5:30 to go. It's Mikesell inside. Extra pass, it's stolen by Crockett. Crockett will slow the pace, finds Wiggins. Wiggins to the short corner, back out to Leah Brown. Inside, Kaiser going to work. Kaiser kicks out. Leah Brown for 3. It's good. Leah Brown cuts the deficit to single digits. Just over 5 minutes to play. Michigan, is it the spark they needed? Brown with 30.
Someone's going to be a spark for Michigan in these last 5 minutes. Is going to be Leah Brown, just as it's been all day, continuing to really shoot the ball well, especially as over these last couple games.
Media timeout on the floor. 5:01 to go in the contest. Michigan down 9, 62-53. Ohio State has been held scoreless for the last 2 minutes and 36, but Michigan with 4 turnovers in about their last 4 minutes of game time hasn't really been able to capitalize.
I mean, that's sort of been the story of the night, right? Michigan sort of shooting themselves in the foot with the turnovers. I mean, Leah Brown's 3 there was a nice spark. They've had a couple nice options, just the turnovers continue to bite them. Leah Brown had 2 turnovers trying to get it to Emily Kaiser in the post, and those two really normally have great chemistry on those sets, and just unforced errors are really costing the Wolverines right now. And I mean, they have almost as many turnovers as, if not more turnovers than Ohio State has made baskets tonight.
And Alex, with Cody McMahon, the star freshman for the Buckeyes, sitting at 4 personal fouls, do you think we see her check into the game with about 5 minutes to go here? Or do you think she sits for just a little bit longer?
I think she might come back in sooner rather than later, just because they haven't really struggled without her on the floor. And it might be a reason to get her back in soon, see if she can provide an additional spark to try to prevent this Michigan run, and you might not be too worried if she fouls out. McMahon can really offer them another sort of different kind of perimeter player in her ability to attack the basket.
And Taylor Mikesell, the leading scorer for the Buckeyes, held to 12 points on an efficient 4 of 6 from 3. However, she hasn't made a 2-point shot. As Jim Harbaugh has shown in attendance tonight, the crowd a big fan of that, seeing their fearless leader on the gridiron here at Crisler Center to cheer on the women's team tonight. The football team was here for the Michigan State game, throwing out some t-shirts, getting the crowd amped up. And McMahon does check back in, held to 2 points tonight on 1 of 6 shooting, but has provided 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Throw in a steal as well for the freshman from Centerville, Ohio.
Ohio State's gotten some really good production out of Ricky Harris. I mean, I don't know where they'd be without her shooting, and tonight she has really carried the load offensively for the Buckeyes.
Harris just under 7 points per game on the season. She has a career high with 23 tonight. Previous career high was 19. She's handled that with ease, and the Wolverines kind of stunned, it feels like. When you see this Buckeye squad, you think Mike Sell, you think Cody McMahon. With no J.C. Sheldon, Ricky Harris has really picked up the slack, a real smooth shooting stroke. Mike Sell, floater, won't go. Offensive rebound goes to Ohio State, Mikula Shakova. And they go back into Mikula Shakova, and she walked with it. Buckeyes turn it over. 4:45 to go. Still full court press from Ohio State. Kaiser has it, and it's tipped. Michigan just can't seem to break this press. Theory blows the bunny at the rim, and Michigan lucky there that Ohio State can't punish them for the turnover. Brown has it. Under 4:30 to play. Michigan down 9. Leah Brown leads all scorers with 30. Ari Wiggins has it to Nolan on the far side wing. Wiggins finds Brown. Brown off the dribble, going to attack Harris. Brown trying to create space. Wiggins looking for something. Shot clock running down. Brown just has to throw it up. And that's a shot clock violation from Michigan.
Just a very stagnant possession there for the Wolverines. Ball was sort of just passed around the perimeter, no one really attacking, sort of just waiting for something to happen. In the end, nothing does over the 30-second shot clock.
Jordan Hobbs checks back in for Michigan. And Harris will take the ball up for the Buckeyes. Finds Theory. Theory to Mikula Shakova. Mikula Shakova guarded by Crockett. Mikula Shakova trying to use that size to her advantage and can't finish with the left hand. Ohio State still scoreless in the last 3:30, but Michigan got a counter here. Brown to Hobbs. Hobbs, the lane parts like the Red Sea, and Hobbs can't finish it at the cup. Ohio State in transition. That's an easy 2 from Cody McMahon. Jordan Hobbs had the lane to herself, but couldn't finish. Nolan has it. Decides to line up a 3. Opts to pass out of it. Brown working. Mid-range area. Kick out to Nolan in the corner. Nolan hoists up a 3. Won't go. 3 minutes to play here from Ann Arbor. McMahon. One-arm pass to Theory. Count it, and 1. Taylor Theory extends the Buckeye lead to 11 pending. Extends it to 13 pending 14 on the free throw.
Time is counting down here for the Wolverines.
Theory at the stripe is pure 14-point lead for Ohio State in Ann Arbor. Hobbs to Brown. Brown flips to Nolan. Nolan guarded by Mike Sell. Brown's going to post up Harris. Tough fadeaway. Won't go, but she draws the whistle on Ricky Harris. That'll be Harris's 4th personal foul. So that's the second Buckeye in significant foul trouble. But with under 3 minutes to go and the Buckeye lead at 14, might not make a difference.
I really like getting the ball to Leah Brown in the post with the smaller guard, Ricky Harris, on her, but with only 2:48, as you said, on the clock, Michigan really going to have to make something happen here.
First free throw good from Brown. She's tied her career high. And at 32 points, that's a new career high for Leah Brown. Ari Wiggins checks in for Nolan. Crockett, Hobbs, Kaiser alongside Brown for Michigan. Leah Brown guards. Harris goes by Hobbs. Kick out. Mikula Shakova. Shot won't go. Offensive foul. Goes against the Buckeyes. Ricky Harris called for the foul. So Harris's night is done. Career high 23 points on 7 of 9 shooting, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc for Ricky Harris. She did her part for the Buckeyes. Chipped in 5 assists and 4 rebounds as well. It'll be Maddie Nolan for Michigan finding Crockett. Leah Brown goes to work on Theory. Tough shot. They wave it off. It'll be a floor foul on Theory. That'll be Theory's fourth. So 4 fouls on Theory. Michigan's in the bonus. And Leah Brown will head back to the free throw line. Brown's had 7 attempts at the stripe tonight. A perfect 7 for 7, make that 8 for 8. 2:30 to go from Crisler. Ohio State lead is 11. Leah Brown's second free throw, ping pongs in. 34 points for number 32 in all Mays on the hardwood tonight. She leads all scorers by a comfortable margin. Mike Zell, as Michigan employs some pressure. Buckeyes shred it. Inside, Theory layup good. Textbook from Ohio State. 69-57, Buckeyes up 12. Hobbs, top of the key, tries to go inside to Kaiser. The pass takes her into the short corner. Cross court to Wiggins, back to Leah Brown. Brown going to attack, elbow jumper, short. Rebound to Cody McMahon. McMahon spins, knocks over Brown. In transition, nice dump off to Theory, and Theory's got back-to-back buckets in transition. 71-57, Ohio State pulling away late. Hobbs into the lane, won't go. Rebound bouncing around, and Theory throws it off of Jordan Hobbs. Maddie Nolan checks in for Michigan Alex, and it feels like Ohio State may have this one all locked up.
Seems like it. They've just done a really nice job on the defensive end, or maybe Michigan has struggled on the offensive end, perhaps a bit of both, but they've certainly pulled away in the last couple minutes in this one.
Theory back to Mike Zell. Ohio State breaks the Michigan press. 1:20 to go. 15 on the shot clock for Mike Zell and company. Mike Zell, a 2-time transfer from Oregon and from Maryland, made her home Ohio State and has had a very successful season. There's a jump ball as Nolan and Mike Zell tie it up. And just like that, Michigan will regain possession. And so Hobbs checks back in for Michigan. Leah Brown. 62 seconds of game clock left. 25 on the shot clock for Michigan. Into Kaiser. Kaiser going to work. Whistle blows, and that'll be another foul. This one is on Mikula Shakova. Rebecca Mikula Shakova now sits at 4 fouls. There's 3 Buckeyes sitting at 4.
Unfortunately, it might not.
And Kaiser at the stripe. Pounds the ball a couple of times on the floor and sinks the first free throw. Emily Kaiser struggled from the free throw line tonight. Makes that first one there. Second one is up, and it's good. Kaiser pulls to 4 of 8 from the line. The Buckeyes break the Michigan press, and it's Mike Zell dribbling it out in the top corner, guarded by Nolan. Ohio State lead sits at 12. Buckeyes content to eat as much clock as they can. Shoemate finds McMahon, and one for the freshman. Cody McMahon puts the nail in the coffin for the Wolverines. The freshman who had to sit much of the third and fourth quarters comes into the game and has provided a spark with a couple of buckets for the Buckeyes. Free throws good, 74-59, under 30 to play. Leah Brown finds Maddie Nolan. Nolan puts up a 3, it's long. Offensive rebound to Leah Brown as OHIO chants ring throughout Crisler. Foul on shoemate is Brown. We'll get a chance to add to that 34-point total. Free throw is good. 21.7 left to play. Michigan hits 60 points with that free throw. Leah Brown up to 35. Second free throw is pure. Brown 11 of 11 from the stripe. Ohio State calls a timeout with 21.7 to go. And it's all but over from Ann Arbor, 74-61. Buckeyes 5 of their last 5. Michigan 0 of their last 5. No made field goals in the last 4:51. And it's tough to win games down the stretch when you're not making shots, Alex.
Certainly, and it's definitely hard to win games with 27 turnovers. I mean, that number just really sticks out to me. I mean, we talk about Leah Brown having a career high, and she's played a great game for the most part on offense with her 36 points, but she's contributed 5 turnovers to that 27, which is fairly natural, which is high of a usage rate as she's had tonight, but it's so hard to win with that many extra chances for Ohio State.
Buckeyes send it in to Theory. Michigan gonna chase here. Buckeyes content to just pass it around and use as much clock as possible. Mikesell trapped in the corner. She'll use another timeout. And we're just delaying the inevitable at this point. Alex, when Michigan went to Columbus, 27 turnovers. You feel like that had to have been a sticking point in practice coming up to this? You knew that the press was coming. It's one of the hallmarks of this Ohio State squad, and 27 more turnovers from Michigan against the Buckeyes, this time at home in Ann Arbor. And Ohio State, fueled by some hot shooting early and excellent hands defensively, looks to have dispatched Michigan on their home floor and moved into sole possession and seems to control their own destiny to securing that double bye in the Big Ten tournament that is so sought after by these two teams.
Seems like it. And the turnovers, I mean, Michigan has really struggled with Ohio State's press, which, as you said, they would absolutely know was going to come tonight. It's just really forced Michigan into a lot of tough spots, and when they've had the ball on offense, they've been into a half-court set, which is not always where they get their best offense.
And Ohio State will hold it at the top of the key. Buzzer sounds. Your final from Crisler Arena, 74-61. If you're tuning in over the FM airways, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to WCBN Sports live coverage of Michigan women's basketball. Again, the final from Crisler is 74-61 Buckeyes. A career high from Leah Brown with 36 isn't enough to propel Michigan as Ricky Harris scores a career high 23 to propel the Buckeyes to victory. And Alex, it just wasn't enough. 27 turnovers again against the Buckeyes as Michigan falls. And with that, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to our coverage. For myself, Kelin Flynn, my partner Alex Miller, and our excellent first half crew, Jared Greenspan and Adam Bressler. We're going to leave you, as we always do, with a good night and a Go Blue.
Our next home game is Thursday, February 23rd at 7 p.m. against Rutgers. Help us send off the senior class for senior night. It is also fan appreciation night. The first 1,000 fans in the stands will receive a free t-shirt. Visit mgoblue.com to purchase